Peace and blessings. Welcome back to the channel once again. For those of you, this is your first time being here, welcome. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you'll get notifications when great content like this comes out in the future. But today we're going to be talking about the 10 signs that could be telling you that your body is toxic. And here's why that's so important. Because I truly believe that the reason why we've had this exponential uptake and so many diseases, so many cancers, so much inflammation in the body is because of two things. One, mineral deficiency. Okay, we're not getting enough minerals in our body. Even though we're an overfed nation, we're a malnourished nation, meaning we're eating a lot of food, but the food doesn't have a lot of nourishment. So that's one. But a really big issue is the toxicity. The amount of toxicity that is in the food today is exponential compared to our great-grandparents. A large majority of the toxins that we're getting in our food, that we're getting in our environment, that we get in our mattresses, that we get in our furniture, that we get in household products, that we get in makeup, they didn't even exist 50 years ago. So there's over 10,000 chemicals in our food supply that are banned in all European nations, and there's about 80,000 chemicals that have been introduced to the American population in the last 50 years. So a lot of that toxicity is accumulating in the body, and we even have these toxins that are called forever chemicals, meaning when they go into your body, they never leave the body, okay? And so I'll talk a little bit later about some of those natural solutions like herbs that can get those toxins out of the body. But before we do that, let's jump into the 10 signs that are going to be telling you that your body is toxic. Because here's the thing, when you go to your doctor, they're not going to look for these toxins. As a matter of fact, for a lot, if you go to like a traditional doctor, like you go to the hospital, you go to a clinic, they don't even have tests to test for these things. And a large majority of doctors don't even know that they should be looking for these type of chemicals or heavy metals, okay? Because a lot of times I work with people one-on-one, they will have a heavy metal toxicity, but their doctors don't even think to check for it. So I gotta give you the tools to be able to doctor yourself, okay? All right, so let's get started. Number one, the number one sign, and this isn't necessarily in the order of priority, but the number one sign that you could be toxic is skin issues. Skin issues, and here's why. The skin is the largest organ of the body. And I know most people don't know that, but the skin is the largest organ of the body. But here's what's really important to what we're talking about. The skin is the largest elimination organ in the body. It's the largest organ that eliminates, okay? So it's one of the primary ways we eliminate, and we don't even see the elimination in most cases, okay? So sometimes when you have a rash or you get hives, sometimes that's your body eliminating, you don't even know it. Sometimes that acne is the body eliminating, you don't even know it. So what happens when you start to get this acne? It's literally telling you what type of issue you're having. Okay, so for instance, acne around the jawline could be a sign of a hormonal issue. It could be a sign that you're getting a lot of hormonal toxins in your body, or endocrine disrupting hormones or hormonal toxins. Okay, so the skin is a big warning sign to tell you that your body is toxic, especially when you start to get these blemishes, when you start to get a lot of acne, when you start to get welts, when you start to get allergies. All of these things are telling you that the skin is trying to say, hey, there's a problem. I have an issue with eliminating, because there's so much coming into the body. Okay, I'll give you another example, acanthosis, which is this sort of hardening of the skin where it looks wrinkled, dark, velvety in the folds of the body. You'll typically see it on a patient's neck, in the folds of the body, and the skin gets really wrinkly, really hard, really dark. And that acanthosis is a sign of insulin resistance, okay? Which means your blood sugars are too high, which means that, again, like sugar is a toxin, especially the type of sugar that you're getting in the, the standard American diet, not the kind of sugar that you'll find in fruit. So acanthosis, again, a skin issue, telling you that something's up with the body as well too, or telling you that the body is toxic, okay? Number two is sleep issues. And why would toxins cause sleep issues, okay? Toxins cause sleep issues because toxins, especially endocrine disruptors, can disrupt the hormones and cause hormone imbalance. Okay, one of the number one hormones that we know about related to sleep is melatonin. Okay, so if toxins can disrupt your hormones, they can disrupt your melatonin, which could affect your sleep as well. So you'll see a lot of people who have sleep issues, who have a lot of toxicity in the body. They'll wake up in night sweats. Okay, that's a big sign that your body is toxic, and that's a big sign that your liver is toxic too. Okay, so we just got a bonus in there. Number 3, gut dysbiosis. Okay, when you're having gut issues all the time, when you're always bloated, gassy, your gut is inflamed, your food is not digesting, this is a sign that your body is toxic too, because again, one of the other ways that we eliminate a lot of toxicity from the body or waste from the body is the gut, through bowel movements. And so when your bowel movements start to get stuck, okay, and start to get delayed, they start to accumulate in the gut. And that waste begins to rot and ferment and creates its own toxins and starts to grow bugs that shouldn't be there, i.e. bacteria, viruses, fungi, etc. And as a result, these outward signs come out, okay? And we'll talk a little bit about those in just a second, because a lot of these things are related to once the toxins in the food chemicals affect the gut, now this affects everything else downstream, okay? But gut issues are a big thing. Gas, bloating, inflammation in the gut, all of those things could be a sign that your body is toxic. And again, the waste, the food that you eat must be eliminated. If it's not eliminated, it's going to become a toxin to the body, okay? And here's a standard for bowel movements. You should literally have a bowel movement with every meal. So if you eat 2 to 3 meals a day, you should have 2 to 3 bowel movements per day, okay? And if you're not, then that's a good sign that your bowels are constipated, which is also a sign of toxicity too. When you're not eliminating from the body, it's telling you that the body is also toxic as well, okay? Huge sign. Same thing with, think about it, like when I talked about before with the skin, when the skin has all of this acne and, these pimples, things of that nature, that's the body trying to eliminate, okay? Hugely important, all right? Another sort of sign and symptom could be mood swings, okay? Whenever you have mood swings could be a sign of toxicity in the body. And why is that? Because a lot of these toxins, again, can get past the blood-brain barrier inside of the brain and literally start to affect the biochemistry inside of the brain. It also can affect the gut too. And the gut, for most people who don't know, is called the second brain. Okay, a lot of our issues around anxiety, depression, things of that nature, creating the happy molecule called serotonin is made in the gut. So if you have gut issues, just like I mentioned before, you can ultimately end up having anxiety and depression as well, and mood swings as well too. And a lot of these food chemicals, the preservatives, the emulsifiers, the thickening agents, the dyes, I can go on and on. These things affect the gut, okay? So they preserve the food, but they don't preserve you, all right? The next one is going to be chronic fatigue. When you're fatigued all the time. Now, if you get fatigued after a workout, this doesn't apply to you. But if you get fatigued for no apparent reason, I mean, you just woke up in the morning, you get to work, and i.e. you go literally get tired and want to go to sleep. It's telling you that type of fatigue on a daily basis like that, you never have energy. That could be a sign and symptom that you have toxicity or toxic accumulation in the body as well, especially when you have heavy metal toxicity, okay? Because heavy metals can really affect the body. And let me give you an example. You have heavy metal toxicity like mercury, lead, cobalt, cadmium, things of that nature. They affect the literal organs in the body. And when they can affect the organs by irritating those organ tissues, it can then affect the system, okay? When organ systems become affected, the heart, the lungs, the digestive system, the nervous system, this can affect the overall body in terms of how it functions, okay? It can lower the functionality of the body, okay? So this is how toxins can also affect the actual energy level in the body as well. Number seven is concentration. As I mentioned before, if you have issues with a lot of toxicity in the body, and you have to think about it like this: 60 to 70% of the standard American diet, what most Americans eat, is processed food, which means that you're eating food full of chemicals, okay? In box, bag, cans, jars. When you read the food label, you do not understand what any of the ingredients mean, with the exception of maybe two or three. That's a sign that you're eating a lot of toxicity. And when you're doing that, some of those toxins can cross the blood-brain barrier and not only affect the mind and the cognitive function in terms of like mood swings, anxiety, and depression, but also can affect your ability to be smart or to be able to concentrate as well too. So it can cause some ADHD, as well. Okay, so toxins can affect your concentration or your ability to concentrate as well. Number 8 is going to be weight gain. Okay, if you have unexplained weight gain, it could be definitely a sign of toxicity. And here's why: because toxins love fat in the body. Okay, whenever you're having these toxins accumulated in the body, and think about it, you eat 2 to 3 meals a day, you're adding toxicity to your body 2 to 3 times a day. If you're eating things out of box, bag, can, jar that are processed, you're adding that toxicity in your body every day. Not to mention the pesticides, herbicides, and insecticides that you're adding as well, atrazine, things of that nature, because these things are toxins to the body as well. And if you're not buying organic, you're adding these toxins to your body. And as they begin to accumulate in the body is trying to figure out, what the hell do I do with all these toxins? And so what it does in its ingenuity, it says, well, I can't put them in the tissues because it'll cause the irritation that I talked about earlier. Irritation leads to inflammation. Inflammation leads to dysfunction. Okay? So where's the best place to put it? I can't put it in the blood. The blood goes everywhere. It can deliver it everywhere in the body. Okay? So doesn't make sense to put it in the bones either. Okay, it'll cause dysfunction in the bone system as well too. So what the body says is, well, I'll just put it in fat. And a lot of these toxins are actually what are called obesogen toxins. And what that means is these toxins actually cause your body to gain fat. It tells your body to store fat so that these toxins can be put into the fat. Okay, so what that means is that you're going to store more toxicity, and you're gonna actually store more fat when you eat the food, or that is what's causing all of the weight gain. That's also why it's so difficult to lose weight too, because when you think about it, at the end of the day, I see so many people who go to the gym, they work out, they even start to eat healthier, and they still can't lose weight, because what the body is saying is that I would love for you to lose weight, but the only issue is that if I allow you to lose weight, now all these toxins are going to spill out into the system, and I can't have that, because that will cause you to be septic and potentially cause you to die. Okay, so you got to figure out a way to eliminate these toxins, because most people who have toxicity have fat, and most people who have fat are constipated. Okay, it is a vicious cycle. Okay, and it's all interconnected. Okay, so weight gain could definitely be a sign that your body is saying that you're toxic and you're malnourished, which I told you is the 2 primary causes of most disease today: being malnourished or deficiency, and toxicity. Okay, and number 10, well, we're gonna say number 9 is going to be migraines and headaches. Again, toxins, especially a lot of these obesogens and smaller toxins, microtoxins, can actually cross the blood-brain barrier, affect the brain, affect the gut, and that can cause the headaches and the migraines that you're experiencing, because they're causing so much inflammation inside of the brain and inside of the gut. Again, the gut is the second brain. Okay, so that could be causing your migraines and headaches. And the very last one today, number 10, is inflammation. Okay, if you always feel inflamed, if you always feel like your joints and your body is sore all the time, that also could be a sign and symptom that your body is toxic as well, which is huge, because people are taking more toxic medications to actually help with the inflammation and the soreness and the pain that they're experiencing, when the real issue is the toxins. Okay, so they're taking the opioids, and the opioids are very toxic to the body. Okay, and then you get addicted to the opioids, so you get in another vicious cycle. Okay, so this is why it's so important to get rid of these toxins out of the body. But the unfortunate thing, like I've learned, is that they don't teach us this in school. You know, being a healthcare professional, they never taught us about toxins, and they definitely never taught us about how do we get rid of these toxins out of the body. Because when you think about it, in some senses, many of the drugs that we use in the hospital are toxic, okay, to the body. Okay, and then the bonus one today is going to be bad breath. Can also be a sign and symptom that your body is toxic too, because the tongue actually pulls toxins out of the body as well. And then also cancer. If you start to develop cancer in the body, that's also a sign and symptom. I give you a few carcinogens that are in our food supply. Nitrates, you'll find them in processed meats like bacon, turkey meat, ham, those type of things. They're listed as a level 1 carcinogen according to the guiding body that determines what is and what isn't cancerous. They're listed as a level 1 carcinogen in the same category with cigarettes, plutonium, and asbestos. Same category, okay? And these foods you can go right into the market and buy. Also PFOAs, okay, which is in Teflon. So you buy that in these non-stick pans that we buy, okay? That Teflon that is non-stick, that makes it easier for you to wash it out. Those PFOAs are forever chemicals. They never leave the body. So you definitely want to switch out your pots and pans as well too. So those are the 10 signs, with a few bonuses, that your body is toxic. And so you want to start to reverse engineer, get toxicity out of your food supply, start to eat organic, start to eat things that are natural, 1 ingredient foods. Okay, that's things like kale, that's things like avocado, etc., fruits, etc. Okay, really important. The other really big hack that you can do, and a lot of you already know about it because you've done my detox, is my 28-day or 14-day detox. The herbs are designed for the healing of the earth. That is a quote from scripture, but that's also a rule of life when it comes to healing. It doesn't matter if it's relationships, okay? If you get toxic in a toxic relationship, you got to remove the toxicity from your life. Or it matters in your body. If it's happening in your body, you got to change the habits, remove the toxicity first before you can actually start nourishing the body. And so that's what my detox is designed to do. One part of it is a parasite candida cleanse to get rid of the parasites and yeast that are in the body, that are stealing away a lot of your nutrients, that are also causing you to have sugar cravings and carb cravings, okay? The other part is the tummy detox. So you can go to my website, drbobbyprice.com, and check that out. But make sure you start to get this toxicity out of your lifestyle so that you can not only be healthier, happier, but live a longer life, okay? Until the next time, peace and blessings, and Godspeed.